Hi everyone, today I'm making tahini caramel billionaire bars. Here's me waving. Here's me looking for the ingredients. Ran into some obstacles along the way, but I take some time to resolve them. Yep, just wait 1 second, I'm going to resolve it. Here are all the ingredients from what I'm making. I'm pretty proud that I gathered all of them, with the help of my mom, who, when I thought I was asking for really complicated ingredients, and I was like, do you even have sesame seeds? She was like, oh, of course, white or black. And then I was like, I'm dealing with a very different plane of reality called the adult kitchen, where you actually have appliances and ingredients. Anyway, so I've tried to record this voiceover already, but I keep getting nervous and not having enough things to talk about while I sift flour for apparently what is a now 30-second clip of me sifting flour. Whisking. I'm getting nervous. And so I decided that it would be better if I just came up with 3 things that I would talk about for this entire time. Just to keep me on track and to keep the content engaging. And those 3 things are going to be baking, because it's what I'm doing in the video. And the second thing is going to be the new Taylor Swift album. And then the third thing is going to be why I want so badly to be a 2 on the Enneagram test. And I thought that those would be 3 really interesting things that we could talk about. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is that you can see that I'm really hesitant in cutting this butter. It's because it said that the butter should be in 1/2 inch cubes. They were squares, so cubes. The reason this makes me nervous is because every time I've tried to cut something to a 1/2 inch, Julia has informed me that it is too big, and then I end up like taking the half-boiled potatoes out of the pot and like cutting them in half again. And I just like didn't want that to happen this time. Um, Butter is different than potatoes, but I still felt like there was a lot going on. So anyway, I cut it into cubes. I made some mistakes. You'll see them, but in order to distract from that, I'm going to go on to my second topic, which is that um, so I only listened to the Taylor Swift album once on Friday, and um, I didn't think I was going to like it because the black and white photo thing, I was kind of like, okay, I get it. Like, Bon Iver is on this album. Like, it says so on the song, so you don't need to tell me by having black and white photos. But I actually do like it, and I really like the song Betty, because it kind of reminds me of Hey Stephen. Um, which I still am like, why didn't they have a music video for that song? Anyway, so I really like that song, and I do like Exile, unfortunately. Um, there's some other songs I like too, but I feel like I'll have to listen to it. I always say that Taylor Swift songs are the kind of thing they just kind of like grow on you over time. So this right here was a mistake, actually. I'm just gonna divert topics. Yeah, but I fixed it. So back to Taylor Swift. I do like this album. Is it better to have an album where none of the songs are bad, or is it better to have an album where 10 out of 17 of the songs are bad, but the 7 are really good? Like, is it better to have that contrast? I don't know. Here's another mistake I'm making right now is that the butter, by the way, is gonna get altogether too soft in this process right now. I think I'm doing a good job, but I'm not. I'm gonna go to the third topic, which is, why do I want to be an Enneagram 2 so badly? One of the reasons is that I kind of feel like it would prevent me from making mistakes like the one we're seeing right now, which is overmixing this dough and making it so soft that I can't possibly spread it in the pan, even when I flour my hands excessively. I don't know why I think this would prevent me from making those mistakes. I just feel like I've never seen an Enneagram 2 make this mistake. The other reason I want to be an Enneagram 2 is because I feel like my whole personality growing up was that I wasn't helpful. This was just like in my family. Anyway, reflecting on that, I feel like I, when I heard that there was a whole personality type for being helpful, I was like, if I could just be an Enneagram 2, then I would prove all the haters wrong, the haters being my mom and my sister. But, and I have been an Enneagram 2 before, but obviously that was kind of a fluke, and I kind of knew it at the time because, like, I know deep down that it's just not who I am, and that I probably am really an Enneagram 7, which is what the test told me most recently when I took it. But I'm sad that I'm an Enneagram 7 because when I was an Enneagram 2, when I thought I was an Enneagram 2. I really thought I had kind of made up for the fact that I was unhelpful for my whole childhood. So you're going to see the mistake getting worse and worse, but I actually think that I'm doing a really good job, and I think I actually tell the camera that I think I'm doing a good job at some point. Has the thumbs up come yet? I think it's going to come. It didn't come, but I might have just cut it out because I was embarrassed. So right now is where we're going to see everything really kind of going badly because the dough is not supposed to be that soft. It's supposed to be crumbly. So not the opposite of soft, but certainly not a synonym. And so it made it really hard to spread. And I was feeling pretty good up until this point, and then I started feeling... So I'm trying to flour my hands. It's not going to help. I'm going to go back to another topic. So my favorite Taylor Swift songs are probably, you know, I really like All Too Well. I feel like it's underappreciated. I like the really long ones. If it's really long and it's a Taylor Swift song, I probably like it. If it's above 4 minutes and if it's a Taylor Swift song, I probably like it. If it's above 5 minutes, I almost definitely like it. I don't remember how long All Too Well is, but it kind of feels like it goes on for longer than 5 minutes. And another song I like by Taylor Swift is Dear John, the longest song ever. Okay, so I just coughed and gagged because I realized what a huge mistake I'd made. So I actually just put the actual dough in the pan. I put it in the fridge to try and cool it down. And I'm kind of just reflecting on what's gone wrong. Just trying to figure out what my next step will be. What's the next move? What am I going to do next? It's all me, though. It's just me and my one-woman baking business. So I'm taking it out of the fridge hoping that things are going to be better, but spoiler is that they're not. It's literally still just as soft. Yep, it's pretty sad. So what the recipe said was that if it was a little bit soft, then you should like flour a fork when you poke it in to make sure it doesn't stick. And that is a good suggestion, but I kind of for some reason expected the fork to get more floury, and it didn't. Yeah. But I still poked it, but it's going back in the fridge like 5 more times, so don't get excited. What was my third topic? Okay, so the reason I wanted to be an Enneagram 2, like I said, is because anytime someone tells me that I'm being helpful, I feel like I'm just, proving the haters wrong. But the problem is that if I was an Enneagram 2, then I probably would have been an Enneagram 2 my whole life, is what I'm feeling. If I was an Enneagram 2 my whole life, then you know what I would have done? I would have been really willing to go downstairs to the basement and bring up the milk jug when I was younger. But I didn't want to do that because it was really heavy. But if I was an Enneagram 2, I would have wanted to do that because I would have wanted to be helpful. Because my sister did it. Which I was justified by saying that I thought that she had more muscles than me. But she was 8 when I was 7. And we were both young children, so she probably had no muscles. And I was just being lazy because I'm not an Enneagram 2. Enneagram 7 characteristics, however, when I was 7, were really popping out. Basically just being really self-centered and sociable and avoiding pain in all ways. That was a really prominent characteristic when I was 7. You might say that a lot of 7-year-olds are like that, but not the 7-year-olds who go get the milk jug from the basement. I'm out of frame because I'm getting the... Oh no, I'm not getting the dough from the fridge. Guess I've just accepted defeat. Alright, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Really crumbly and nice, then you press it in. You don't even need to put flour on your hands. It just goes straight in there. You're ready to go. You're ready to put it right in the oven, right? It says lightly flour your hands if needed. I indeed did need it. So now I'm just kind of sitting in despair. I was pretty upset at this point because I was like, I'm kind of having low hopes, but I had put the dough in the oven. My dad had reassured me that it would be okay, but I mean, what does he know about baking? So I was pretty upset. But it happens. I think I had some moments of, hope and optimism, but at the same time, when I watched this clip back, those also might have just been moments when I was just, ready to let out some tears. But anyway, the dough was in the oven, so what are you going to do? It's there, it's going to come out in like 24 minutes, and at that point, you can reevaluate. And here we are, ladies, reevaluating, And it turns out that the dough came out well. This was a big moment for me. And since I was still kind of reflecting on the fact that I was an Enneagram 7, I would take any win that I could get. So here I am making caramel. And I actually decided to make this clip 2 times speed because Claire taught me how to do it, and I got really excited and I just wanted to do it, even though having the whisking at 2 times speed looks a little bit chaotic. It kind of reminds me of when I'm watching a gymnastics video at 1.75 speed on accident, and then I like get really freaked out because I'm like, oh my god, they're flipping so fast. So I'm whisking. I'm pretty terrified of messing this up because a lot has already gone wrong, but I'm watching the video with a lot of vigilance, so hoping things are going to go well. Adding in the sugar, adding in more sugar, whisk, 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 whisk. Oh my god, it looks just absolutely tornado-y when I'm watching it now. So now my mom has come into the frame, and she's actually a really good baker, so she could probably be really helpful, but for some reason I was like, I can do it myself. But do you see that look of fear in her eyes? I don't even know what I'm doing wrong, but apparently it's something pretty big, not surprising there. Anyway, I'm still staring at the video. Still very concerned that everything is going to go wrong. But this actually might have been the only thing that went right up until this clip when I'm adding in a lot of the wrong type of salt. I don't know if anyone wants to hear this. This is going to be my 4th topic of this, just to spice it up a bit. Spice, because salt isn't a spice. Anyway, just to spice it up a bit, in case anyone doesn't know, there's like different kinds of salts. I know, probably no one knew this. So there's kosher salt, there's iodized salt, there's like sea salt and stuff, but kosher salt is like good for baking and also other things because it's like less salty, so it's like less of a risk that you'll oversalt your food. Iodized salt is like basically table salt, so it's like salty, so you're definitely going to oversalt your food. And I thought I was using kosher salt here, but I was using iodized salt, and I just kept adding more in like a big dummy because on the reviews it said that the caramel was like really, really sweet, and to like counteract it you had to like put in salt. Oh my god, that's so much. Why? It's all table salt. But I didn't know because I wasn't reading. It's okay, I just recently started reading. I should have sped up this whisking. Now it kind of looks kind of slow to me, but maybe I'm just desensitized. Okay, so I feel like I haven't mentioned that a song recently that I've liked by Taylor Swift has been Hours. It's like that song about like elevator buttons where she's like, I hate everyone at this office and all I think about is you. That is romantic. Anyway, I like that song. I heard a good cover of it recently. Kind of reminds me of Betty. Yeah, here's me just being happy. Kind of unbeknownst to the fact that I've completely messed up the salt. So I look like I'm happy and thriving. And, Okay, here's me, like, really... Okay, I put this at double speed, too, but honestly, it looks really dangerous, so I'm kind of scared. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of that, though. We're nearing the end. Oh, okay, just did a quick check-in. We're nearing the end of this, video, and, I just wanted to say, thanks for, tuning in, here, because I realized that, the, chocolate is kind of going badly. I did what I always do when I'm a little bit stretched, which is, clean. That's only recently. Obviously, it's recently because otherwise I would have been an Enneagram 2 for my whole life. But yeah, so I'm putting more chocolate in because, surprise, surprise, I made another mistake and the chocolate wasn't spreading on the caramel because I didn't leave it long enough to set. But I did, though. It just didn't set. It was my fault. But yeah, so that's all. I mean, I made them, and I feel like the first day they were like, eh. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, they were kind of salty. And I was like, obviously because I used iodized salt like an idiot. But then today I had one and it was actually okay. But maybe it could be sweeter. But I can always just make it again,
I just feel like
the end.